I wanted to address a question we had from Gabe, but I also want to have Aiden from Canada and my good friend Benjamin and Newton over in the UK. All of you will be able to take advantage of this. The question was, how do we win more games? Well, what we're going to work today on is Scholar's Mate. It's only 4 moves, and the first time I was beating grown-ups, this was a great tool, and it actually happens in tournaments too. So how we begin, if we're the light-colored pieces, so we get to move first, we shake hands with our opponent, and then we begin by going to E4. We call that the power of 10. The reason we call it power of 10 is we can now make 10 moves that we couldn't otherwise do. And I'll prove this to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It is the single move that allows you to do more things. We're trying to control the center, getting rid of castle, do a number of things, but this is the most effective move right in the beginning, E4. Now, many of your opponents will do the same thing. This would be E5, okay? This is for the same reasons. They're trying to develop the center and get their other pieces out. But at this point, what we're going to do is bring our bishop out, and we're taking the bishop from F1 location, and we're bringing it over to C4. Now, I'm going to talk about this pawn right here that I tipped over. We call that the weak pawn, not because it's weak in particular, but there's only one piece is protecting it, and that is your king. So we call it a weak pawn because not many pieces are protecting. If you're going to win a game quickly, it's because you're focusing on the weak pawn. Now, many people will believe if it's good for you, it must be good for them. So they bring their bishop out, and this bishop now came to C5. Now, if your opponent does that, then you have special permission to do something that we don't normally do. We normally do not bring our queen out early. But if they've done that, you have special permission, and I want you to bring your queen all the way out as far as it'll go. It started on D1, as you can see, and it's now going over to H5. Now, if we look very carefully, you'll notice that both the bishop and the queen are focused on, what did we call that? The weak pawn. You want to focus on that. And so we have 2 attacking, and they only have 1 defending, which is their king. Okay. Now, a lot of times people will say, well, I need to get that queen out of there. So they'll bring their knight out. And you see how wonderful that knight is. It can jump over pieces, but it's also attacking the queen. And they say, haha, now you're going to have to go back because the knight is only worth 3, the queen's worth 9. And so they're threatening our queen. But in this case, we are going to ignore that entirely. Come in with our queen, taking the pawn, and you'll notice the king is now in check, meaning the king is in danger. Now, there are 3 ways out of trouble. One is to take the piece if you can. Well, the king is the only thing that could capture it, but it may not because it's protected by the bishop. So that would be an illegal move. So 3 ways out of trouble. Take the piece it's attacking. That is not an option. Block. If the queen were further back, you could block it with that pawn. Getting anything in between it would be a good block. But we're right next to the king, so there's no way to block it. Third way out is to run away. Find a safe place to go. King goes there, the queen can still get it. King goes there, queen can still get it. So this is not just check, this is checkmate. And now you have won your first game. Really exciting stuff. Now you can also do this if you're the other player. Let me show you how that works. We're going to set this up. You can even see me set it back up. We bring it right back to the beginning. And before we're done, we're going to show you. Ooh, there we go. I'm having a little technical difficulties here. Spinning without knocking everything over. Very good. Okay, good. I'm excited about that. All right. So we shake hands with our opponent. They get to move first. They do the E4. That's fine. We'll do the E5. A lot of times they'll do other things. They might bring their bishop or their pawn up, and so they move their pawn to D3. And what we're going to do is bring our bishop out from the F8 location over to F5. And what are we focused on? We're focused on that weak pawn that we were talking about earlier. They may bring their knight out. That'll be lovely. And now we're going to bring our queen out as far as she goes. In this case, we're going to H4. And if you notice again, we have 2 pieces focusing on that weak pawn. We have both the bishop and the queen. Now, they can do a lot of things. They can try and attack us with their knight, which they are doing. They're attacking your queen, but it's our move. So we're going to come in, take the pawn, king cannot take it because it's protected by the bishop. And there is cannot block and cannot run away. Therefore, we have checkmate again. Isn't that exciting? Now, there you go. You won the game as either white or black. Now I'm going to show you the defense so you don't get caught into that. So you may say, wow, if the game is that easy, if I could lose with that darn scholar's mate, how do I defend against such a thing, right? Well, again, shake hands. Your opponent moves out to the e4. You come out to the e4. And when they bring their bishop out, focus in on the weak pawn, a key to the defense is bringing this knight out. You get that knight out early, you're getting ready castle, and you can see if the queen goes here to f3, it can't get through, can't jump over, so that wouldn't be it. And if the queen makes the mistake of coming all the way to h5, since your knight is already here, your knight can just take the queen. So that's a wonderful defense, and we'll go further into that. So when you're defending, this is the way to do that. And when you are playing the game, we're going to do this, swing this back around. There we go. If your opponent, rather than bringing out the knight, brings out the bishop, what are you going to do? Queen all the way out. They can do many different things, but your queen in, checkmate. You learn nothing more than the Scholar's Mate theme, and you will win many, many games. It's very exciting. Thank you for joining me.